Hi everyone, it's time for another weekly update from CodersTrust, and this time it's from the office in Copenhagen, where we got a very nice bright office, as you can see, with people working very hard. So as the previous status video, I'm gonna run you through what's happening the last 2 weeks. Based on the HSS process from marketing, the student onboarding, and earning and period. So we'll jump right to it. So in terms of marketing, so for the 2 past weeks, we've been running explainer videos as a video advertising on Facebook. So what you can see here is an advertising for CodersTrust with a video that autoplays for the user with the basic tagline of upgrade your skills to earn more money. And then there's a link to the sign up process. So this one has got it's reached almost 300,000 people, and it's got almost 100,000 displays, and 84 people have shared it. Another thing is that we've been displaying videos of our students. So our goal here is try to make success stories and show the face of our students. So especially this guy is a pretty decent freelancer and is one of the best performing at the moment. So trying to put a face on our freelancers, that's essentially kind of the marketing activities we've been doing. Another thing is that Jan has been on national television, something called ATN Bangla. So if you go into our Facebook, you'll be able to see a pretty good interview with Jan. So even though we're doing a lot of marketing and we get a lot of sign-ups, meaning people that sign up for CodersTrust with email and a phone number, actual enrollment is not as good as we could have hoped for. So what you see here is a graph of our actual student enrollment in the period from July to November. So in July it was 19, August 21, and in November so far 24, even though the last 20 was actually this week. So the marketing we began probably a month ago is starting to work now. So it takes some time from a person signing up to actually enrolling in the course. So the big challenge at the moment is how to convert all our signups to actual enrollment in the program. And that's very critical, especially based on the KPIs or the milestones, the targets that we're trying to reach within the next month. So what you see here is an overview of our milestone for the coming period. And we've done this as a part of our planning for Series A. So what we've done is that we divided it into different phases. So what we have now, what will happen in phase 1, December to February, phase 2, 3, etc. So right now, even though that we only had 24 enrolled students, we believe that in total we're getting 50 by this month. And the approximate monthly revenue is 10,000. So over these in phase 1, 2, 3, we're going to increase that number. So the goal is to go from 50 students monthly onboarded students to 250 to 500, 700, and by September, December in phase 4, the goal is to have thousands onboarded students each month. So a way to do this is to increase the number of affiliate centers, and I'll come back to a whole strategy around the franchise models. But essentially right now we have 4 partner universities where we're using their facility, and we'd like to increase that number from 7 to 24. So it will require 24 local training centers to reach that number of 1,000 onboarded students. So that's going to grow our revenue from $10,000 a month to almost 400,000. So of course this is extremely ambitious. And another goal is to decrease the monthly cost per student. So based on automation, etc., etc. So right now the cost per student is $222, and we'd like to get down to $45 per students. Other than that, we have different milestones in terms of our marketing activities, our platform development, and finance, etc. So So as I mentioned, right now the biggest challenge is conversion, and so and we have the names and phone numbers. So what we're doing right now is that we're calling the individual student. So we've created a call center, more or less, where some mentors are participating, and then we have dedicated people that are sitting and calling all the students that have signed up but not yet enrolled. So we divided people, all the signups, into hot leads and cold leads, and so calling them is one way of following up. Then we're sending them automated email and automated SMS to remind them to sign up. Another way to convert them to enrolling is by having student session. So what you see here is our calendar for the whole organization. So in here, of course, I can see that the different teams have different meeting in different time zones as well. But all these meetings is essentially student counseling session with individual students. So students showing up at the office, having an individual session, or sometimes it's 10 students with one mentor to get a better impression of what exactly CodersTrust is. Then from the marketing, one of the big thing happening at the moment is that CodersTrust is going to host an hour of code in Bangladesh, India, and in Kenya. It's essentially a worldwide event where people from across the globe come in and dedicate 1 hour to coding. And so this is a screenshot from our Trello board where we are doing all the project management. And for those of you who don't know Trello, it's essentially small tasks that are put into cards, and then it goes from being ideas and opportunity to being done this week to being done totally. So for this event, as you can see, we're doing a lot of planning, and we're recruiting volunteers, sending out SMS, etc., etc. So a lot of people is currently organized around that event. Then in terms of our student operation, as mentioned, we have been doing a lot of our current batches in physical classrooms, not only from our own office, but also from the partner university, which is what we call the blended learning model. But during the past 3 months, we've been working to get our courses online. So in early December, we'll be launching the first online course in Dhaka, which will enable us to reach people outside of the main capital. And of course, this is where CodersTrust really becomes scalable. And a lot of preparation has gone into this, and it's going to be exciting to see. So we're starting with a limited number of seats, and we're going to do some testing and experimentation. And then once we have that up and running, of course, this is going to be the way forward. So another screenshot from our Trello. This is our business development. So as you can see here, we have the online course where Shakil is working. So that's a part. This should be finished this week in terms of the planning, etc. Another thing which is currently been working on is the Payoneer partnership. Of course, that's an ongoing development. And then we have currently we're in the process of applying for a project in Kosovo where we would have been shortlisted by the World Bank. So if we were to get that project, we would be very well positioned for a really big project in Bangladesh funded by the World Bank. So as you can see, Francesco is currently on that. So in here you have essentially an overview of what kind of business development is happening. And now that we're growing to more than 50 people, it's pretty hard to get an overview of who's doing what. But we just implemented this very cool tool called I Done This. So the way it works is that people get an email every afternoon at 4, where you can reply and just put in bullet points the task you've been working on. And then the service summarize all the tasks and send out an email with an overview of what's been happening in the past 24 hours. So, and you can also log into this overview and get it or into this dashboard and get an overview of what everyone has been doing. So far, we've been able to get the 20% discount, and so currently we're thinking about expanding this service to our students so that we don't have to manually keep an update on what our students are doing. But so far this has been a huge success, and of course I encourage all employees to keep using it. Another thing where we haven't really been very good is to create an overview of our data. So we hired this Clipfolio dashboard expert, Sanchit from India, to start working on our business dashboard. So right now, a lot of our data is in silos or is captured in Excel spreadsheet. So Sanchit will be working with different departments on capturing the data from the Excel spreadsheet and visualizing it in Clipfolio as a business dashboard, so that we have something that can be emailed every day, every week, as an update on the basic KPIs. We can provide reporting to investors, and I think this will be very helpful to enable the whole organization to have an overview of where we are right now, and then have the big KPI milestone overview as a background of what are our targets. Then from the development perspective, since more and more of our students are now starting to be onboarded at the freelance market, and since there are several freelance portals out there that doesn't have an API where we can make a direct integration, we will be implementing this tool called One Login, which essentially allows us to have one central login across all the services that our students are using online. So this is basically a service. It does cost something per user, but it's something which is used by a big corporation. But it pretty much solves the problem of people cheating and working on other freelance portals without us knowing it. But we still need to get a lot of data from these freelance portals. So one thing is the job feed, but we also need to have a clear overview of what kind of activity is happening in there. So we've established a crawler team that goes in and crawl the different freelance portals. We're going to start out with the 10 major portals, but of course the ambition is to cover all 150 of them, so our students, they don't need to go to all these 150 different portals, but they can just go to one place, our portal, where they have one unified feed. So we created a crawler team with this Russian guy and this guy from Nepal. And so one of the first prototype they've done is this crawler, which enable us to go in and check the balance of a user's Fiverr profile. So what you can see here might not be a very beautiful UI, but it's essentially you can enter a username and password, and then you can run the script and it gives you back the balance. So this tool can be used on all portals, essentially, can be maintained, and will essentially enable us to create one unified feed of jobs to our freelancers, but it will also enable us to know exactly what the individual freelancer is doing. Then another vital part of our growth and expansion strategy is our franchise model. So as I mentioned, we've currently been working with the universities, but the basic idea is to enable even small internet cafes, as you can see here, to turn them into a university with the CodersTrust. So we signed, as you can see in this picture, universities in Dhaka and training centers in India. And it's essentially to gain access to their training facilities, so we don't have to do the big upfront investment, and enable us to scale faster and quicker. So I was actually at one of these universities 2 weeks ago when I was in Dhaka, where I had the opportunity to talk to the students. And so not only are we able to borrow or rent, of course they have a stake in this as well, their facilities, but they also do marketing. And since it's something which is at the university, we have a lot more students that are enrolling and paying for the course. So that really helps us. So it's a really good partner channel for onboarding students. And so behind our franchise model, we have this financial spreadsheet, which essentially gives an overview of how it works, and it is kind of a financial simulator for a potential franchise taker. So what you have here is you can put in assumptions. So depending on how many seats you might have at your internet cafe or university, on how you like to do the pricing, then we can do some basic calculation on the projection, how much the student's going to earn and how much you as a local partner will be able to earn. So this model will also be the basic financial model behind our mobile classroom. So far it's only been a conceptual idea that this is kind of the vision that we like to pursue, But currently UNDP like this idea so much, and we've been working with them in the Coral slum, that they want to do a fundraising campaign only to fundraise for these physical mobile classroom, and then roll them out, starting with Dhaka, but essentially worldwide as well. So ASA is currently working on making this a reality. Their goal is to start in early December. So a lot of this will depend on UNDP, but of course we're excited, and with such a great name, I'm sure that they will be able to come in with some great results and be able to provide a lot of funding for these mobile classrooms. So that was it from the office in Copenhagen. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.